Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Employee Baltimore Show. I'm your host, Marvin McKinstry. I did it again, Katanya. That's supposed to say Marvin ESD, Employer Services Division. It's Pastor Marvin for my other podcast, but look, y'all work with me, all right? I got to change it again. Thank y'all for tuning in. We here every Thursday at 1 p.m., 2 p.m. now, bringing you the most up-to-date information on employment from the Mayor's Office of Employment Development, the place to be, the plug, where to go if you're really looking for an opportunity. And we have a dynamic show for you today. But before we get to that, I got to shout out my producer, the greatest producer in the land. She's the producer, the booker, the coordinator. She keeps me straight. I'm talking about the one and only Miss Katanya Lester. Katanya, thank you for all that you do to make this happen and to keep it going. Listen, y'all, I want to take the opportunity to send a major shout out to a person who I met a long time before he came to Baltimore. Back around 2016, I had the privilege of being able to go to Chicago because we were getting ready to come under consent decree after everything that happened with Freddie Gray. Baltimore was coming under consent decree, and because of the community work that I was doing specifically around youth, I had the privilege to go out. And one of the people that I got the chance to meet was Commissioner Michael Harrison. He was then the chief of police in New Orleans, and because they had been under consent decree for a while, he was there to give Chicago and Baltimore some insights into what it looks like to operate under consent decree. We know how the story goes. A few years later, Mayor Kathy Pugh brings him to Baltimore, and for now 4.5 years, he has been the commissioner of our Baltimore Police Department. Came in at a time when there was a need for somebody that could do a lot of work around healing and rebuilding relationships. I've had the opportunity to work directly and very closely with this man of God, and I'm grateful for the privilege of being able to work with him and for his service. So I want to shout out on behalf of the Employee Baltimore Show. Thank you, Commissioner Michael Harrison, for your 4.5 years of service. Baltimore's police department is definitely better than you found it, just like you promised. We wish you well in all of your future endeavors and pray that everything that you set your hands to be blessed. And with that being said, another guy who I've worked with way longer than that is stepping in to become right now he's our acting police commissioner, and that is Commissioner Rich Worley. I remember when he was Major Worley. That's how long we go back. And the great work, he's a Baltimore guy. And we know that in order to do policing effective in Baltimore, there's a cultural element that you got to understand. Great background, great record in policing here in Baltimore. So we want to wish him well, because his success is the success of our city. Continuing to see numbers trend in the right direction means that we've got to have the real people who know how to continue the great work that's been established and started. So shout out Mayor Scott for getting us a Baltimore guy at the helm. You said it earlier, he went to Cardinal Gamers, he went to the wrong school. But we are excited to see Major Rich Worley step in and take the next stride in the vision for what is to happen for BPD. I don't know about y'all, but it's a little smoggy and smoky in Baltimore. That's right. The wildfires in Canada has sent down some smog and smoke, and I am let me clear my throat before I give y'all this major announcement. It is Father's Day month, right? Or I should say Father's Month, because you know how y'all do, ladies. When it's Mother's Month, the whole month of May, y'all want celebrations, gifts, all of that sort of thing. Well, it's Father's Month. We know we're going to get our little day, and that's going to be it. But happy Father's Day to all of the fathers out there, whether you're a father, stepfather, surrogate father, community father, all of the fathers. Sunday, June 18th, make sure you grab that man who is the significant influence in the lives of young people. I don't care who he is, grandfather, great grandfather, and celebrate him. We want to continue to send a happy Father's Day wish to all of the fathers. And no, we ain't talking to you ladies. We ain't doing all that, y'all mothers and fathers. We talking to the fathers. All right. So happy Father's Day. Baltimore Pride Month in full effect. June the 17th through the 25th, there's going to be significant activities in and throughout Baltimore. The Mayor's Office of Employment Development is a major contributor to the LGBTQ community and our resources and services, making sure that equitable services and equitable opportunities are available to those who are members of the LGBTQ community. So we want to shout out Pride Week, June 17th through the 25th. All right, y'all, our now hiring job board. All you got to do is go to baltimorecity.gov/MOED to the job board. I probably said that wrong, but our job board brings you the most up-to-date information on what's happening in hiring around Baltimore. The difference in going here than a lot of the other places that you can go online is that each and every one of the jobs that you're going to find on this job board is attached to a person who literally is going to respond to you in real time to make sure that you get a direct connection. So instead of going out there like the old folks would say, beat the pavement and all that sort of thing, connect with the Mayor's Office of Employment Development through our now hiring job board. Get up to the minute employment information and assistance with any opportunity that you qualify for. All right, y'all. Once you get that new job, the next thing you're going to need to do is get there. Let's Ride to Work is a program. Listen, my two sons are wearing my car out. I'm about to get them these 40 free rides. I'm grateful, though, because both of them have jobs. But 40 free Lyft rides in a partnership that the Mayor's Office of Employment Development has with Lyft, you get your 40 free Lyft rides, which bridges the gap between you and maybe that first couple of paychecks before you have to start coming out of pocket paying your way to work. But you must be a Baltimore City resident and your employment must be in the boundaries of Baltimore City. Email nikki.reed@baltimorecity.gov to learn more about this program. Listen, y'all, one of my favorite success stories is a young man who came out of prison and during his 40 Lyft rides saved up his money. So when his Lyft rides ran out, he went and got a car and didn't have to even get on the bus, the train, or any of those kinds of things, man. He made the transition and showed at the highest level how this program can work for you. All right, y'all, the security and public safety hiring event. We got the Baltimore Sheriff's Department, CS Security, which is owned by a really good friend of mine, CES Security, MedStar Health, looking for security officers. It is going to be happening on Wednesday, June the 14th, 2023 at 100 West 23rd Street. Y'all want to get connected to this event if you're looking for an opportunity in law enforcement support is what I call it, but security. They're looking for unarmed officer 1, unarmed officer 2, full-time and PRN positions are available. You must have a high school diploma or GED and 1 year related security experience for MedStar. CES, security, looking for security guards, entry level, meaning that they're willing to train you. CES Security, looking for armed guards, must have a current Maryland security certification and Maryland wear and carry permit. And Baltimore City Sheriff's Office, y'all, listen, they got the cadets program. You got to be 18 to 20. You'll be provided with on-the-job training. And they also have court security positions, which ensures the physical safety of the judges, the masters. Listen, y'all need to make sure that y'all are connecting to joy.brown@baltimorecity.gov and delia.henry@baltimorecity.gov so that you can get connected to this major opportunity if you desire a career in law enforcement support. Make sure that you at this event. All right, y'all, we doing it again. And this time we just got a list emailed to us that there were several folks hired at our last Home Chef event, but this is going to be the major hiring for all of the warehouse related positions. The production associate positions is going to be all of the hands-on inside stuff. It's entry level and it starts at $16.50 an hour. So what you want to make sure that you do is you hit that QR code to register and then show up Tuesday, June the 20th, 2023 from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And that's right, we're going back out to the Middle Branch Fitness and Wellness Center, 201 Rebirth Avenue, brand new building, beautiful facility. We were able to really manage traffic and facilitate the last event well. So we're going back. Make sure that you are in the building if you're looking for. There are over 250 to 300 jobs that are coming to Baltimore as a result of Home Chef moving here. They're the second largest provider in meals ready to go on the order service. So I want you to make sure that you get here if you're looking for that opportunity. Again, scan the barcode that's listed on the flyer. Make sure that you pre-register, then come on out. And you can also go online to do the application prior to coming. All right. So that again, Tuesday, June the 20th, 2023. All right, today's show is going to be featuring Roost Apartment Hotel. Got a major job fair coming up. I believe it's next week, and one of my really, really good friends is going to be here to talk about that. And then we're going to be talking to a friend of the show and another good friend of mine, big brother to me, Mr. Marty McNair, about some things that are happening with the Jordan McNair Foundation. So you tuned in the right day. Make sure you take this opportunity to like, love, share this broadcast. Tag people in the comments who you think should be here. I haven't even shared it to my page yet, but I'm about to go correct that because y'all, we are about to talk about these great opportunities at Roost. This brother who is coming on here to talk to us right now is somebody that I've worked closely with for a few years. He's one of the superstars or champions, as our director calls us in the mayor's office of employment developments, and he's been championing the cause of employment in Baltimore for several years. He started out working in our youth division, moved up to one of our, I think he was our mobile BSR on our bus, and now he is the special coordinator for the, let me get it right, Baltimore Peninsula Project, formerly the Port Covington Project. I'm talking about the one and only, my friend and my brother, great man, Mr. Andre Beckles. Andre, thank you for being with us today.
Hey, no problem at all. Appreciate the
The
introduction.
local hiring project coordinator.
Yep.
All right.
Yes, indeed.
So tell the people a little bit about you, and then I want you to tell them about the local hiring project coordinator, because it's a whole piece of legislation, city policy, law, whatever you want to call it, that supports local hiring. And people need to understand what that means.
All right, so a little bit about myself. I've been with MOED for about 4 years now, helping Baltimore City residents with employment opportunities. Started off with YouthWorks, worked my way over to the mobile center, where we travel from neighborhood to neighborhood, pretty much offering services to Baltimore City residents. And then I got the opportunity to work on the was Port Covington project, but it switched over to Baltimore Peninsula with new management. So let's actually dive right into the event that I'm having next week. So on June 13th.
Before you go to that, tell us a little bit about what it means to be the local hiring coordinator and how our local hiring law plays into that specific, because I want people to understand that there's a mandate in place if you're looking for these kinds of opportunities that says you have to be given consideration up to a certain point. Of course, you got to be qualified, but explain a little bit more to the people what that means.
All right, so local hiring law is a law or a set of rules that contractors and developers have to follow when they work on city subsidized projects over $5 million, which is the Baltimore Peninsula project. So pretty much within local hiring law, contractors, when they are on the project over $5 million, they have to hire 51% of Baltimore City residents. So all new hires have to be 51% Baltimore City residents. All of the employees on site, 30%, have to be Baltimore City residents. And along with the number of hours worked in total, has to be 30% of hours worked on the project are by Baltimore City residents. So a lot of that is in place to make sure that city residents are treated equitably, having opportunities on the project and just having those employment opportunities. So these companies won't bring in people from out of state, taking all the jobs. The opportunities are there for us.
All right, and we're talking about Roost coming to Baltimore. It's a major brand. If you're not familiar, Andre, tell us a little bit about Roost as a brand and about the hiring event that you have coming up next week.
Got you. So Roost is a company. They're like a long extended stay hotel. So Roost is a company that pretty much does a lot of luxury hotels, luxury living, or just call it luxury extended stay. So they will have apartment buildings there, but they also have, it's more so going to be ran like a hotel. So we invited them to an event that we're having next week. They're offering, or they're hiring for multiple positions. So like we see on the screen, they're looking for a director of engineering, a housekeeping manager, front office manager, a maintenance technician, and then the last one there you see a leasing agent. And so along with that, we also invited Bozzuto and JLL. Bozzuto was a last minute entry, so that's why they're not on this flyer. But Bozzuto with JLL, they're hiring for a maintenance tech also, along with the operating engineer.
There are a lot of people that are looking for engineers and maintenance techs at this point. I know one of the other local businesses that we've been working with for a few years now reached out to me, and they're trying to fill those positions as well. But we see very competitive and comparable salaries here. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so for Roost, the director of engineering, they're looking for $100,000, and that's a great pay, great salary. Housekeeping manager, 55K. Front office, 60K, and then maintenance tech about 50K. So those are very good in, what's the word that they call it? Um,
Competitive.
Competitive.
Yes.
Yes, competitive salaries that we have in the industry. So if anybody's interested in those positions, by all means, you can scan the QR code at the bottom, register for the event, or just come on the 13th. But we definitely do advise people to register, because once
All
you
right.
register, that's when I reach out to you and I actually send you a link for the position so you can apply ahead of time.
Man, y'all see that? It's full service when you're dealing with MOED. And you see it right there, Tuesday, June 13th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., 2455 House Street on the fourth floor. And that's on the new development,
That
right?
is actually on a project. So also, if people are interested in seeing the project, this will be a great opportunity for folk to come down and see the new buildings and to actually take a brief tour of what the project looks like.
All right, man. How much more time and work do we should we expect down at Baltimore Peninsula? Is it about done? Where we at with it?
So right now we have about 5 buildings. They're pretty much complete, and that's only the beginning. That's the first phase. So another phase should be starting up shortly once we get a little couple more investors, and they'll be starting up the second stage to build additional buildings.
Man, Andre, I want to thank you for being on here. Give us one more time the date, time, and location for the upcoming event. We know that these are hospitality positions, man. Y'all are doing it big down there. So let the people know when and where to be. And I'm going to look forward to being there myself on Tuesday.
Indeed. So it's June 13th at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., 2455 House Street, directly in Baltimore Peninsula. If you can't find it on Apple Maps, please look at it on Google Maps, and it should take you directly to the project.
All right, man. Thank you so much for being with us today, Andre, and all of the great work that you're doing to make sure you have made sure that whether it's on the construction side or otherwise, that Baltimore City residents are connected to this multi-million dollar project that's happening in Baltimore. And I don't think people really understand the significance of that because historically, local folks have been disenfranchised when it comes to major projects. So we definitely do not take what you bring to MOED's team lightly. You are definitely one of the champions and a major superstar. Thank you so much for all you do, my brother.
I appreciate for the kind words. No problem at all.
All right, y'all. Y'all, there y'all have it. Andre is a wizard with the computer too, y'all. I used to give Andre work that would take me like 6 hours to do, and he be hit me back in a half hour. And he still ain't told me a secret. You on the other side now, Dre. You can tell me how you used to do it. But y'all listen, y'all heard him. Local hiring event with Roost, Bozzuto, and JLL are going to be, but Roost is kind of the feature in this event. We want y'all to make sure y'all come out Tuesday, June 13th, 2023. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., 2455 House Street on the fourth floor, Baltimore, Maryland, 21230. Do pre-register when you see that flyer. Pre-register. And we look forward to seeing you. You will see yours truly in the building. You get that job on the spot, I'm going to be the one to say, come on now, let me interview you. Tell the people what your experience was like. All right, keeping the show moving, keeping it moving. We had one of my favorite people on the planet. When I met this brother, it had to be 25 years or so ago because I wasn't even working for OED yet. And I've been around here for about 21 years. He is a person that is the living example of how you turn pain into your passion. I go all the way back with him to Geico, get your grind on, his clothing line and brand that he built up. way back. Was that in the 90s? I think that was in the 90s we were doing that. He's always worked in one capacity or another, assisting people, whether it's been around recovery and addiction, but literally taking the tragic loss of his son and turning it into a program that is blessing other young people, educating families on how to have their children in safer spaces as it pertains to athletics. I'm talking about the one and only, my friend and the president of the Jordan McNair Foundation, founder of the Jordan McNair Foundation, Mr. Marty McNair. Marty, thank you for being with us, good brother.
Hey Marv, thank you, brother, man, for that edification as always, for sure, man. How you
Yes,
doing?
sir. I'm doing good, man. How you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I am good for sure.
Absolutely, man. I tell you, every time I hear your name, I think about back when, man.
We
Get the
go back.
grind
Yes,
on and
sir.
all
Yes,
that
sir.
good stuff.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
That we
sir.
do.
Well, thank you for being with us today. Why don't you tell the people a little bit more about yourself and about the Jordan McNair Foundation?
Yeah, man. So basically, I mean, if you'd have to be living under a rock if you didn't know, really who we were. Obviously, really, we lost Jordan. Man, it'd be 5 years. It don't even seem like it's
Wow, it
been that
don't.
long. June in a couple days, man. Next Monday, next Tuesday, it'll be 5 years. This is our 5-year anniversary. And the interesting thing, really, we've been moving ever since, just really trying to make an impact, man. Really to save the lives of other student athletes, and most importantly, just kind of prevent some folks from really, man, not going through what we went through. And basically, man, really the way that we do that is through education. We educate parents, coaches, student athletes, man, on the signs, symptoms of heat-related injuries and other sports-related injuries that can become tragic. So really, that's like our mission as an organization. However, but our main thing, man, really where we are right now is this is our 5th year, and this is we're excited because this is our second annual. We always did a sports clinic, Marvin, when Jordan passed, right? And basically what that was just really just to kind of ease our pain. And I tell people all the time, like, man, Jordan was a highly recruited athlete, and I used to take Jordan to all of these sports clinics and combines across the nation, man. And you name it, every brand, Under Armour, Nike, Adidas, Army All-American, you name it, we were on a good trail there. And I always sat in the stands, man, and literally just watched them. I didn't know anything about emergency action plans. Marvin, if a piece of safety of equipment had fell out the sky and hit me in my head, I wouldn't have known what it was, just because there was no education. And, we just always, as parents, man, we always assume. So what we wanted to do was, in regards to our mission, was how do we make an impact in regards to parent education? So what we started doing was literally a year to the date that Jordan passed, we started doing our own annual sports clinics, and it was like the Jordan McNair Health and Wellness project or whatever, Health and Wellness Sports Day. And basically, we started in June of 2019 at the McDonough School, and man, we've evolved at a couple years in McDonough. Then obviously we had COVID, and man, we partnered with the Morgan State Bears football organization, or the Morgan State Bears athletic department. Man, and this is our second year because, Marv, the big thing for me was I already knew I wanted the Baltimore City kids to get this, but everybody may have not had the resources to make it out to McDonough. So here's an opportunity where if you're in Baltimore City, whether you can ride your bike, you basically catch the bus, you can walk, you can jog, you can get a ride from a family member. Basically, this is an opportunity for all young people as well as parents, really not only to come out and get a great education on the laws and everything that affect our student athletes. But man, a lot of kids ain't going to go to D1 schools. However, a lot of kids will, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing to wind up at an HBCU, but Morgan State University is one of the greatest HBCU institutions in the nation. And it's right here in our city, man. And it's right here at arm's reach. And a lot of people, man, probably prior to this, probably had never even been on their campus. You know what I mean? Much less, interacted with the football team and things like that. So we really kind of kill a couple birds with that stone, man. That one stone, we get the parents out, and not only we get the parents and the student athlete and coaches want to come out as well, but here's an opportunity to see what's right in front of you. And I try to emphasize the parents all the time, man. Sports should be used as a tool only. It should be a tool to get you some education, and that way you can create a better life for your young student athlete, man. And really, we're excited to host our second annual one, not this weekend, but the weekend after next.
One of the things that jumps off the page to me is the Can My Child Play parent safety education session. Talk a little bit more, and you've mentioned it, but talk a little bit more about what, because I think a lot of parents don't see it as a tool; they see it as an ambition or opportunity. And sometimes, in chasing that ambition or that opportunity without the right education, we put our children in harm's way. Talk a little bit about what the parent will get who brings
Yeah,
their
man.
child
So
up there.
yeah, so Marv, the big thing with Can My Child Play is I wrote a book. So basically, the name of my book is Can My Child Play? Question mark. The questions we should have asked. See, because my questioning about safety didn't even start till I walked into the ER. Where it was a little too late at that point because I'd always told Jordan to be coachable. Whatever coach says, you do it. Coach say run off that cliff, you do it. Coach says run through that brick wall, you do it. So the thing was, man, all I really asked people, or all I asked is I was that father that, hey, all I want to know is can he get some playing time and why isn't he getting some playing time? I never knew that laundry list of questions that you should be asking about their safety that were way more paramount than can they get some playing time or not. And that was one of the things with like the Can My Child Play parent education session. We teach parents, like I'm a takeaway guy. And we teach parents, man, like if you should be asking every organization that your child plays for, can they answer these questions to the best of your ability to make you feel comfortable? Because if you go somewhere and somebody doesn't have an emergency action plan, or they're running punishment drills, or they don't know CPR, or all these different things, they don't have safety equipment, man, you may need to rethink your decision because unfortunately you're putting your child in an unsafe environment. And that's one of the things that we really do, man. We talk about the things that a parent should know besides, hey, I'm sitting in the car while they practice, or I'm this and that. Look for these things on the field before you let your child go out on the field. So basically, man, that's really what the Can My Child Play parent education is. We educate parents on what you need to know in regards to your student athlete safety. And the interesting thing, Marv, like I said, I asked two questions. Can he play and why isn't he playing? And man, so many of us parents are like that because we just assume that coaches know what they're doing. And especially at the youth level where we really focus a lot of our attention is, man, these people are volunteers. A lot of them aren't getting paid. So they just have their hearts right in the right place. And they may not be as educated as you would like them to be. And I don't want any parent to be in our position asking, what didn't I do or what could I have done better when it's a little too late.
Well, Marty, I want to make a public commitment, man. If you get a few people that up to say maybe $100, if they can't pay the registration fee, hit me up, brother. I want to sponsor some people to be there to get that information. I coached my boys all their life, and I can only imagine what it is you had to deal with Jordan. So, if in fact it's going to help save a life, I want to make that commitment.
Thank you.
And we got a question: is it open to boys and girls?
Yes.
Just student athletes. Ain't none of that. Student athletes.
If they fall in that category, it's something that everybody can get. Nowadays, we have so much going on, especially with girls flag football. And, we got a couple of little mamas that, they playing tackle as well. They tough, you know what I mean? So, man, we don't discriminate, man. And we just encourage everybody to come out. And I tell people, man, even though we have a fee, it's like $25 registration fee, man. But really, man, the big thing that we really focus on, man, like is really getting the message out, man. And the kids walk away, they get some cool swag. We got our new Keep On Believing in Yourself.
Yeah, I see, man. I'm checking it out.
Hey, look, man, we kind of switched our logo up this year just to kind of make it a little bit more universal, man. Big shout out to Under Armour, man, for finally showing some love, you know what I mean? And to our other sponsors as well, man. But, it's still early. You can follow us like at the tjmf.org. If any of your listeners want to sponsor some kids, man, please feel free to do so. Because the thing is, man, a lot of times, Marv, I think that when people say you have a clinic and people may just post a flyer, right? And like, I expect everybody to come to my clinic. However, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to tell you the value in you coming to our clinic. It's a lot of things that go on in this great state of Maryland, man, that protects your student athlete. And I just think that is so vital when you're listening to a stakeholder like myself. You're listening to one of our athletic training partners, our legislative partners really telling you the laws that protect your kids. And I think, again, our motto is the more educated that we all are, the safer all our student athletes will be.
Well, Marty, we want to thank you again for the great work, man. You never know some of the lanes that need to be carved out. And God, I wish the circumstances had been different. but I'm so grateful that you have turned your pain into passion and promise for so many other people. Let people know how they can connect. I see it on the screen, but let people know how they can connect and
Yes.
register for the
Please,
clinic.
if you want to register, hopefully you register your student athletes. If you want to sponsor some kids, just go to our website, the Jordan McNair Foundation.org, or the simplified TJMF79.org. Basically, everything is right there, man. And what we're really excited about, Marvin, really our website has so much information, but see the organization that you're getting behind. Like, we just have a new documentary that we just premiered last Friday. Man, it's probably like a 21-minute documentary just on who we are and the work that we do. Our main goal really isn't, unfortunately what happened to Jordan. Yeah, that's a parent's nightmare. But I really like to focus more on the work that we've done since Jordan's passing. Marv, we all think our children are special, man. And sometimes we have no idea. Like, I thought Jordan would have been playing on Sundays. I never thought that he would be a household name or the poster boy for student athlete safety, protecting student athletes all across the nation.
Well, man, you still have created and are building an incredible legacy in Jordan's honor. And we're so grateful again for the great work that you're doing. Thank you for continuing to bring the information here to the Employ Baltimore show, man. You, my friend and my brother, I love you. And I'm just grateful that I've had the opportunity to get to know you. Thank you again for being with us today. We look forward to talking to you next time.
My man, take care. Thank you for having me.
All right, y'all. The Baltimore Citywide Football Clinic, sponsored by the Jordan McNair Foundation, under the leadership of my great friend and brother, Mr. Marty McNair. Registration fee $25. Don't let that hinder you. I'm going to sponsor up to 4 young people, myself. And if there's anybody else, you heard him yourself. Marty McNair said, do not allow money to hinder you from being here. Go to the website, learn more about the organization, check out the documentary that's going to be on my list of things to watch this weekend. But we want to make sure that we're keeping our young people safe, our student athletes safe, because we don't want them to go out, whether it's for fun or if they're looking for a higher level opportunity, to find themselves in harm's way. The game itself is enough, right, without having to worry about all the other things. So get the education and let's keep our young people safe. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. It's been an incredible show as always. I got to thank my producer for bringing the guest on that we need to hear from. Y'all, listen, you're tuning in with us. We're going to be with you I got the wrong background up. We're going to be with you every Thursday at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. with up-to-the-minute information on employment, community resources, and other great things that you need. Y'all know why we do it, because if you're looking for an employment opportunity, the Mayor's Office of Employment Development is looking for you. With a focus on economic justice, we have and will continue to build a workforce system that truly works. Thank you for being with us today.